4KQ voiceover guy here, signing off. Going back up to my booth in the cloud. Bye.
It's lonely up here.
Classic Hits 4KQ.
Just a song.
Now playing even more great classic hits in a row. Good times and great classic hits. 4KQ. 4KQ.
Good times, great classic hits, 4KQ, Laurel, Gary and Mark. Beautiful day across Brisbane at the moment.
Well, I've already said $1,000 has already been given away today on the birthday wheel. We need to make it 2.
4KQ morning, Brent James. Sunday morning 60s. The very last Sunday morning 60s this weekend.
You must. This talking sport is knocking on your door. Memories will always see us through. But it's all over now.
Hi, this is your recliner rocker, Dave D. Whitcomb, enjoying another sizzling 70s weekend, and I hope you can join me for Jukebox Saturday night.
Hey, it's Mick Michaels here. A lost classic from the Stones coming up.
Good morning, I'm John Knox, and America today is under a terrorist attack the like of which the world has never seen.
It's all over now, Hey, you, it's all over KQ's my station.
Yeah, nice one, Laurel. That's our own Laurel Edwards, and it's all over now at Brisbane's Classic Hits 4KQ. I've known Laurel for so many years, and I had the privilege of working with Laurel, Gary and Mark over a long time. I used to fill in occasionally for Mark. I remember the first time I did that, I was coming out of a song I was supposed to say with Laurel, Gary and Murray, which is not too hard, really. But instead, because I'd been so used to doing shows on my own, I said, breakfast with Murray Shoring. Oh, and Laurel and Gary. Well, of course, you can imagine what Gary's reaction was. He says, he's been in that chair for 5 minutes and he's already giving himself top billing. I didn't mean to, but it was so much fun working with Laurel, Gary and Mark over the years. We will miss them all. Coming up soon, Little River Band, and it seems appropriate, it is Glenn Shorrock's birthday today. Also, Stars are on the way, and this is Paul McCartney and Wings at Brisbane's Classic Hits 4KQ.
Hi, this is Mick Peeling from Stars, and you're listening to Brisbane 4KQ, and here's one of our classic hits.
4KQ.
If you're down and feeling blue, we got the memories just for you. You'll be moving to the beat. It'll get you up, back up on your feet. Just greatest memories, latest hits on 4KQ.
Good times and great classic hits 4KQ. End of the line from the Travelling Wilburys. Little River Band there too. What a great song. It's a long way there. With Murray Shoring this evening, another classic coming up in just a moment. Okay, before there was Laurel, Gary and Mark, there was Laurel, Gary and Bob. And before that, there was Kim and Laurel. And the Kim is joining me in the studio. Kim Mottershaw, welcome.
How are you, Murray?
Really well.
Good.
Good to see you again.
Last
yeah.
night, mate. What's going on?
It's very exciting. It hasn't really hit me yet.
Yeah.
And I know there's not too much time left, but it's a very exciting time. Yeah.
I started in 1988, at the end of 88, at 4KQ with Jill Ray, and we did 3.5 years together.
Yes.
And things were going really well, and then Jill decided that she'd had enough, as happens in any job.
Yes.
And whatever. And then Laurel joined me in May 1992.
Long time ago.
Yeah, and as we know, Laurel stayed for 30 years. I spent 14 years as part of the 4KQ breakfast team, and I have great memories. And tonight, just off to the left of this studio, we're having a pretty good party to relive some of those memories.
It seems to be going pretty well, yeah. I remember popping into the studio on a couple of occasions when you and Laurel were doing the breakfast program, and here was Laurel in her big fluffy slippers and a dressing gown. She was pretty casual, wasn't she?
She was very casual. Look, it was a great time. It was just a great time where I'm just so privileged to be part of it for that long, and we had some great times together.
Absolutely.
Great times.
Kim, thanks for popping by.
You just keep playing those hits right through till midnight,
We've
Murray.
got a few to go.
Okay.
Take care.
What's the last song?
I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
Got to wait.
Bye.
We built this city.
It's the end of an era. The last night. 75 years of 4KQ.
Good times and great classic hits, 4KQ with Kevin Johnson. Rock and roll, I gave you the best years of my life. The not quite final song is coming up in just a moment. That is just about it for Murray Shoring and 4KQ. It has been such an honour to have worked at this radio station for many years, and such an incredible honour to have presented this final program. From all the announcers for the last 75 years at 4KQ, including in more recent times, Laurel, Gary and Mark, Brent James, Nick Michaels, Dave D. Whitcomb, Paul Kennedy, Bob Gallagher, also Abby and Chris and Monique and everyone in the newsroom, from Chris and Adam and all the other traffic presenters, and of course from all the behind-the-scenes teams in traffic and production and sales and promotions and programming. Thank you. Thank you to you and all our loyal and wonderful listeners. All that's left to say is, from Brisbane's classic hits 4KQ, good night and goodbye.
A long, long time ago, I can still...
G'day, it's Pat and Heels here. This morning from 6, Brisbane gets a brand new radio station, 693 SENQ.
Join us and the likes of Cam Smith, Luke Hodge, Katie Brown, Gary Belcher, Scott Sattler and Ben Davis as we bring you all the latest in sports news and a stack of live sport.
NRL, State of Origin, Test Cricket, AFL, the Commonwealth Games and the FIFA World Cup. Queensland's new home of sport, 693 SENQ.
Starts this morning from 6.
Hi, it's Vanessa Gibson here from the newsroom. As a tragic Lions fan, I'm excited about joining the team here at SENQ. I'm looking forward to bringing you the latest breaking news around Brisbane every morning, plus breaking sports news and the latest traffic with Passion Heels. Catch you this morning from 6 on Queensland's new home of sport, 693 SENQ. Hi, it's Vanessa Gibson here from the newsroom. As a tragic Lions fan, I'm excited about joining the team here at SENQ. I'm looking forward to bringing you the latest breaking news around Brisbane every morning, plus breaking sports news and the latest traffic with Passion Heels. Catch you this morning from 6 on Queensland's new home of sport, 693 SENQ.
G'day, it's Pat and Heels here. This morning from 6, Brisbane gets a brand new radio station, 693 SENQ.
Join us and the likes of Cam Smith, Luke Hodge, Katie Brown, Gary Belcher, Scott Sattler and Ben Davis as we bring you all the latest in sports news and a stack of live sport.
NRL, State of Origin, Test Cricket, AFL, the Commonwealth Games and the FIFA World Cup. Queensland's new home of sport, 693 SENQ.
Starts this morning from 6.
Us Queenslanders have always loved our sport. It's part of our DNA.
From the backfields of Mackay to the try line of Lang Park, we've celebrated great moments and witnessed so many iconic Queensland Never Say Die efforts. Who could forget Fatty's No Names in 1995? Or the start of the dynasty in 2006. What about the Broncos? Was there a better team in the 90s and early 2000s?
Renoff, they won't catch him. He's heading for the corner. And he's over.
Cricket's entrenched in our Queensland sporting fabric. Whether it's the march to the Gabba on day one or winning the Shield, Queensland's enjoyed plenty of memorable moments.
Oh, bowled him. Yorked him. Leg stump. And the jubilation from the Australian team.
He's given it in. He's given it in. Dailymotion's got a hat-trick on his birthday.
Carl Rackerman has taken the catch that wins Queensland their first ever Shield final.
Who could forget my mate Warney? 1994 at the Gabba, 8 for 71 when he ripped through England.
Oh, he's bowled him around his legs. Yes, he's hit the stumps around his legs. He's zipped that one out of the rough. It was full, and that is the end of De Freitas.
What about those Brisbane Lions in the 2000s?
Here it is. The Brisbane Lions have done it. The Lions have gone back to back to back.
Our beloved Commonwealth and Olympic champions and golfing legends hailing from the golden sands of our Sunshine State.
Happy lifting. Goes up to Graham. Takes the lead. This is a famous victory. What a legend. What a champion.
A great victory for Greg Norman. He's waited a long time.
Whatever sport you love, Queensland's new home of sport, 693 SENQ, will bring it to you. Led by Pat Welsh and Ian Healy.
Beautifully taken. What a magnificent catch. And Healy inspires the Australians once again.
Leading Brisbane sports journalists Ben Davis and Katie Brown. Gary Belcher and Scott Sattler get you home at the end of the day. And last but not least, our two goats, Luke Hodge and Cameron Smith. Go ahead, name two better. The chant of Queenslander roars loud right here on your new home of sport. This is 693 SENQ, Queensland made.
And a very good morning to you. Welcome. It's a brand new financial year and a momentous day for Ian Healy and myself as we launch 693 SENQ. We've got a great show lined up where it'll include Heels, two of the icons of rugby league in this state, Wayne Bennett and Kevy Walters.
They don't get any bigger than those either. How big will Kevy be when he's in the game as long as Benny has? So that's going to be great. I guess I better introduce you, Pat Welsh. Welcome to you. We have a lot of fun in the mornings. We've got the King of Stratty coming up, Matty Hayden, the proudest of Queenslanders, joining us for the first test with that in full swing. The line skipper, Dane Zorko. Oh, will he make it to the phone? He was injured last night, so everyone's sporting poet Rupert McCall will close us out later on today.
Yeah, it'd be remiss, Heels, though, if we didn't mention those who helped turn this radio station into a much-loved institution. 4KQ, of course, was part of the Brisbane broadcasting landscape for 3/4 of a century. And the Brekkie team of Laurel, Gary and Mark, they were on air for 16 years. Laurel, who I've known personally for over 3 decades, is one of the greats of radio, TV and entertainment in this country. And we really do sincerely thank them for the legacy that they have left.
Yeah, good call, Paddy. Now, if you're listening for the first time, welcome and thanks for giving us your valuable time. SEN, it began this format almost 20 years ago now and has grown incredibly. I remember when I was first interviewed as a former cricketer, Paddy, and by the great footballer Kevin Bartlett, who began the morning shift in Melbourne. I certainly didn't think I'd be in this seat opposite you 20 years later.
Hey, it's not all brand new. Lions tragic Vanessa Gibson is staying on 693 and will present our news each morning. She's here. She was at the Lions last night. She was at the Gabba. We got the money, by the way, 108 to 67. Charlie kicked 4 goals, so they had Country Roads on loop last night. And, of course, we've got Essendon next. But we'll talk to Zorks a little bit about that. That was the one, or the two downers were Zorks and Daniel Rich, both leaving with hamstrings. We'll present the news each morning, and that's our news as well. And our long-time broadcaster and sports commentator, Mark Braybrook, joins us for all the updates.
Plus, he's our producer, Paddy, for the show. So he's the boss. So hopefully we can make the next 3 hours a little bit of fun and a bit entertaining, and also keep you informed of what is happening in the busy world of sport. As Paddy mentioned, there's heaps that SEN are involved in. Live sport each and every week from around the globe. The NRL, including the Broncos and Titans, we cover heaps of games. The AFL, the Suns, and of course the Lions. And we talk to Hodgie regularly about his thoughts on both. And it doesn't get any better than his assessment of football games. And cricket, Test cricket, currently Australia are playing Sri Lanka. The Big Bash, all on SEN2. The Commonwealth Games live, and the FIFA World Cup. So, Paddy, you mentioned it. We do have some brilliant guests to kick off, so let's get rolling.
Yep, that's exactly right, Heels. Matthew Hayden, you found him. He's home from the IPL. Where would he be? Of course, he's overfishing on Scrabby.
He does go missing, that's for sure. So Kel will probably speak to him less than we will today.
I'm interested to talk to Wayne Bennett. Yeah, he's been coaching since '76.
Yeah, this would be his biggest break.
First year off.
Yeah. I bet he doesn't like it. So that's one of my questions for sure. Are you getting impatient, or do you need more time?
Track down Kevy, not long before Captain's Run. It's scheduled this morning over at Red Hill. Then they head north to a really, really big game against the Cowboys. Payne Haas, boy, he's tough. And Adam Reynolds is playing with this busted rib.
The busiest people at the Broncos is that scanning clinic over the road, isn't it? Farnworth had some good news overnight, didn't he? I think he's a chance of playing at the end of this season.
So they could be back. Oh, that's great news, isn't it? Hey, I didn't have a lot of trouble tracking down our Olympic champ, Sally Pearson.
Right.
She's working for us now.
Okay, Paddy, I'll do that.
She's reading the sports news on the Gold Coast. I actually spent a morning with her not all that long ago when I was on the coast, just going through a few of the nuances and the tricks of the trade, I suppose. And she's...
Stuff that you didn't get when you started. You were on work experience for about 3 years, it looked like.
That was a long time ago, Hills.
Well, how long is it, mate? 47 years.
April 75 I started, and we didn't have a dedicated sports segment in the news in those days.
You know how you made a big thing of when Wayne Bennett started coaching? You were before him.
I know.
He said he's 76, he started coaching. Then you tell us you started in TV in 75.
They were going through some historical vision up at Mount Cootha the other day and found a shot of me at Souths after they'd won a grand final. Now, for the life of me, I can't remember. And Benny was there, because non-drinker, non-smoker, non-everything, but just gets high on life. He loves being around the atmosphere after they'd won. And then, that was the days of Meninga and those guys, just unbelievable team, Souths. And, there was Benny and I had hair in those days. It was
would have been big too. Lots of bling on, I bet. And I bet there's a lot of your media crew, Fordham, Billy J. Smith, the farmer, and you probably thought, this Bennett bloke's not going to cut it. He doesn't fit in here. He's still going as our special guest. What's that, 36 years later?
Yeah, he's spending a fair bit of, 46 years later.
Oh, is it 40?
Yeah,
sorry.
46 years later. And I don't know how many games. I was trying to look up yesterday. I'm going through the different reference sources. Well over 1,000. In total games coached. It's just, it's amazing. Hey, we will have a chat to Zorks. Zorks is a regular on our show on Tuesday mornings. He's a man of many strings to his bow, because not only does he talk footy with us, but he also does American sport with us on a Tuesday morning. He knows everything about American sport. He's unbelievable.
Now, we have talked about him watching American sport in the hyperbaric chamber, but he's had very few injuries, and he's been an extremely durable player and skipper for for the Lions, but he's hit this hamstring problem, and he had also a calf type issue at the start of this year. So he'll be right on top of his American sport now. He's in that hyperbaric chamber looking to get those hamstring fibres healing quicker, and they've got a video set up and a TV in the chamber that you can just be sitting there watching what you want, I'm imagining, these days.
For those of you kindly joining us for our first day here on 693 SENQ, Luke Hodge is another regular. We call it Goat Wednesday. So we have Hodgie in for a half hour, and then we have Cameron Smith in for a half hour talking all things AFL and NRL, and that's always fantastic. And speaking of NRL, Scotty Sattler is along as well. He's a regular with Gary Belcher. They have their nighttime show. So we're going to hear from Sats. How are we going to fit all this in this morning?
Not sure, but we'll just give it one. Just play the ball, Paddy. Play what's in front of you, all right? But, yeah, I don't know of two men who explain their games better than Cameron Smith and Luke Hodge. You know, why did the Lions stop scoring in that moment? And Hodge will say, they put men around the ball. They changed their whole plan on us there, and as the Brisbane Lions, and they were able to stop us getting the ball so easily. So last night, the Lions flicked their switch on, and the Western Bulldogs were the victims.
Yeah, well, they had to. They're back to second on the ladder for now. Charlie, as I said, was brilliant with 4 goals. He was great. They've got Essendon next Sunday, so you've got to say that's a winnable game for them at the Gabba. So
big break,
at home.
Big break, isn't it? And double Thursday night games, and then a Sunday to follow it up.
Hey, you know what I'm looking forward to as well? A little later on in the show, just after 8:30, Rupert McCall is coming.
Yes.
I love him.
Yeah, I think he's got a little poem for us. Might be a big one.
I keep referring back to this, and I've seen him perform, and you've seen him perform at so many functions and just wow them right around the country.
He never misses his mark.
But the night with the athletes, with our Olympians, the welcome home dinner when he came in, and he stood in the middle of the room at the convention centre at the RNA. There was 1,000 people there, I think, and he just stood on this little dais right in the middle of the room and gave this most stirring delivery of a poem dedicated to our Olympians, and there was hairs on the back of the neck stuff. It was just fantastic, so I love that.
And then were you smooth on your notes after that, or were you still all a bit
it was a little stuttery. Yeah, it was a little stuttery. It was fantastic.
I've got to get going here.
And I think he just won the 4th grade premier. He'd coached brothers 4th grade to a premiership. So he's come away from celebrations, thrown the dinner suit on, and stood there in front of the premier and all the VIPs of the state, and just absolutely wowed them. So Rup's coming in a little later on in the show today. Hey, but look, Hills, most importantly, we really want to hear from you. And our numbers are, for our first-time listeners today, 13 13 55, Brighton Homes open line, or you can text us on the Becker Watt Lawyers text line. That's 0467 736 736. So
there's a very big question, haven't we? 13 13 55, and we got a big question today to consider. Yes. What's Queensland's greatest sporting moment in your mind?
We've been racking our brains over this, and Mark has been pulling out some great bits of audio of, the Mark Coyne try, the Lions first premiership, the Broncos first, the Sheffield Shield win back in 94, 95.
That was a miracle. Carl Rackerman caught us. Sorry, Mark.
And I tossed one in. What about the Horn fight?
Yeah, what a day. What a day. You remember where you were. If you weren't at the fight, you were watching it somewhere. And I was at the Burleigh Bears in the corporate suites up there, watching the Bears go around at Pizzey Park in the Gold Coast, and watching the Pacquiao fight. Don't even remember how the Burleigh Bears went that day.
So we want to know, what do you think is the greatest moment in Queensland sport? Give that Brighton Homes open line a call. 13 13 55, and you can win a $100 Body Science voucher. Hey, just quickly, Heels, overnight. So good and bad news from the tennis. Kyrgios through and relatively easy. 6-2, 6-3, 6-1 over Krajinovic, the 26th seed. Isla Tomljanovic. Impressive. The American Catherine Harrison, 6-2, 6-2. No luck for Jordan Thompson. He did come up against Tsitsipas, the 4th seed, 6-2, 6-3, 7-5. But Stefanos will now meet Kyrgios, so we're looking forward to that in the 3rd round. Jason Kubler, Brisbane's Jason Kubler, with his 7 knee surgeries, has a good lead before they suspended play. 6-3, 6-4, 5-4 he leads. And on court at the moment, so they're under cover there, is the Demon. It's a set-all for the Demon against Jack Draper, the Brit, and the Demon has a break in the 3rd.
Yeah, well, this Queensland stuff, why don't we get one piece of audio in that Mark's prepared, eh?
Mm-hmm.
One of the biggest moments in all our lives.